Okay, I'm going to summarize my part of the speech. First, China should not expand nuclear power. Each increase greatly magnifies the risk of a nuclear accident. There is a history of small and large accidents at reactors. Accidents occur in all countries, in most if not all, involving various reactor designs. It's initiated by internal and external events and with different patterns and progressions. There are occasions when multiple safety systems do fail at the same time. These occur far more frequently than technical analysts seem to assume. Second, everyone always says that the newest reactor design is the safest. They said the same thing for Chernobyl. The problem is that the small number produced by this exercise, widely seen as involving complicated calculations, have the effect of what might be termed false or misplaced cognitiveness, especially on policymakers and the general public. And third is Chinese nuclear power plants have been causing high cancer rates in surrounding areas. And as China barrels ahead with an ambitious plan to almost double its nuclear power plants over the next several years, residents near a Chinese first nuclear facility have expressed concern over health problems plagued in the village. Such as, like, the Global Times spoke to a number of residents who live around the reactor, and they mentioned that the cancer rate was, in 2012, was 0.285, but they had 2%. And they believe nuclear power is preventing the cause. Now, I want to refute their arguments. First, they said that coal causes pollution, so they should use nuclear power. But they do not realize that in the building of these nuclear power plants, as well as mining uranium, the machines, they also use some of them use coal, some also use fossil fuels, and they also cause pollution. And they also say that solar power is expensive and ineffective, and but nuclear power is also expensive, and with all the other alternatives put together, they may produce enough energy that is just as much as nuclear power can produce itself. And they also say lots of people die from coal mining, but we hear mentioned that lots of people die. Lots of people are getting cancer from all these nuclear reactors leaking, and so it's like it also causes a lot of deaths. So that means that their argument doesn't really do anything. And they also said that if China doesn't get to use nuclear power, it will try to get the disputed islands such as the Senkaku and Spratleys, but they are already, like, when you have to use nuclear power, you may have to mine uranium, and China gets its uranium from Canada. What if someday Canada cuts the imports off, and then China would still have to go to another war? And plus, we mentioned before that nuclear power causes the proliferation of nuclear weapons, and so even if they do use nuclear power, it may still cause a war. Just that it's using nuclear weapons. And they also said that if China doesn't get to use nuclear power, it will use coal. If China's building, like we mentioned before, China's building and and mining uses all these coal and fossil fuels, and so and so it's the same thing. And let me see. How much time do I have?
5 seconds.
For these reasons, please vote for Crossfire.
Crossfire. Crossfire. William, first question, go.
Can I attack his argument? Can I attack his argument?
You can ask the question.
Just ask a question.
Ask the question. That a question can attack his argument,
Okay.
but it has to be in the form of a question.
Okay. What the EU is not using nuclear power plant, but maintaining China's economy and also reduce the amount of hazardous waste. Moreover, not to put any stress on the environment.
You can use all the other alternatives put together. You can use solar, you can use wind, you can use water power, you can use hydropower. You put them all together and you'll do it.
Yeah, that's true, but you know.
No 2 questions in a row.
No, attack his.
No, you only get 1 question at a time.
You have to use the next question. Are you aware that
No.
Didn't I tell you about asking that question? Are you aware? Asking that
Okay. I like,
Make your argument. How would you respond? What's your argument?
use like making, like building your reactors and mining uranium also uses fossil fuels and creates pollution.
How would you respond?
What?
Using, building reactors and mining uranium also gives out emissions, pollutions, and uses fossil fuels.
Yeah, what you're saying is generally right, but according to the news, they said that according to the semiconductor industry expanded since 1997, he said that the new nuclear reactor is reprocessed and it could be used 2, 3, or 5 times to reuse the reactor fuel, which is basically and renewable energy compared to the old ones. And my word from code says coal causes more problems such as it messes up the quantity of water, so it also causes more radiation in the air. How do you respond to that?
Causes water and clogs with water and
Yeah.
air, right?
And then mess up the end.
Right. Well, mining uranium also gives out lots of, uses water and gives out contaminated water. And I don't say like while you're building and mining the uranium as well as building the reactors, you're still getting, like I mentioned before, you're giving out pollution, giving out emissions, and like so even if you don't use even if you do use nuclear power, you're still giving off emissions. So like it's just. No, like it's not any different from coal.
But it's much lesser than what you use for coal. Coal has more solid waste.
Excuse me?
Go. Ask a question.
Okay. I'll ask you. You mentioned that let me see.
Hurry, you're running out of time. Go.
Okay. How do you
Time.
think? Oh gosh.